There are moments in life when time seems to freeze, like the birth of your first child, or the instant you realize the woman yelling in your driveway has just rammed her SUV into your brand new gate. Three men in suits, earpieces discreetly tucked in, emerged from behind your azaleas, guns drawn. Linda was still recording herself mid-rant when the tallest agent pointed at her chihuahua and said coolly, "Ma'am, I need you to step away from the dog." That's when I knew my life had veered off the rails. The morning had started like any other in Pinewood Grove, a neighborhood so relentlessly tranquil it felt like a computer-generated utopia. I was nursing a cup of scorched coffee on my porch, watching a squirrel and a sparrow wage a silent war over a bagel scrap, when the screech of tires shattered the peace. A metallic crunch followed, and a white Tahoe skidded to a stop, half buried in my ornate wrought iron gate. Smoke billowed from its hood like a sigh of defeat. Linda Marshall, suburban queen with a pixie cut sharper than her reasoning, stumbled out in cheetah print leggings, immediately bellowing, "This is all your fault," as if I'd snuck out at midnight to plant the gate in her path. Before I could respond, she whipped out her phone and started live streaming. To my followers, look at this insanity. Entrapment. Sabotage. I could have died. Prince Burrito could have died. The camera swung to her trembling chihuahua, quivering like a possessed mop in the passenger seat. I set my coffee down and approached cautiously, half convinced said this was a nightmare, a prank, or some bizarre mashup of reality TV and law enforcement. Linda stormed toward me, still filming, and shouted, "I demand you pay for my bumper. This is neighborhood warfare." I opened my mouth to reply, but the words never came. The mangled gate creaked open, and from the shadows beyond, three men stepped out, black suits, mirrored shades, faces unreadable. The one in the center, a chiseled guy with a steely gaze, flashed a badge so quickly I barely caught. United States Secret Service. Linda shrieked. "Oh my God, what is this?" I knew I'd a cover-up. One agent raised a hand. "Ma'am, we need you to stay calm." She responded by hurling her phone into the bushes and wrestling her dog free from its harness. That's when Sophie, my 15-year-old daughter, strolled onto the porch, cereal bowl in one hand, phone in the other. She surveyed the chaos and said, "Huh. I knew something was off with the shed." "Told you, Dad." The agents pivoted toward her in eerie sync. "Who are you?" the tall one asked. Sophie grinned. "The one who figured out you've been using our backyard for signal routing. Your encryption's trash, by the way. I've got 3 videos provying it." I gaped. "You what?" She shrugged, unfazed. "It's not that illegal. I didn't even hit the main node, just snagged a ping from a dark satellite. Pretty sure it's tied to something called Vortex." Linda, still wailing, tried to climb back into her SUV but was intercepted by the shortest agent, who gently pried Prince Burrito from her grip and handed him to Sophie. "I'm not going to Guantanamo again," Linda screamed. Not a second time. I was starting to think I was still dreaming. The tall agent, introducing himself as Carter, stepped closer and lowered his sunglasses. His eyes were piercing, unyielding. "Mr. Harper, can we speak privately? It's about the structure behind your pool." "The shed?" I asked, dumbfounded. "Yes," he said. "Except it's not a shed." Sophie let out an exaggerated gasp, more theatrical than surprised. I knew it. Agent Ruiz, the more laid-back of the trio, offered a sheepish grin. It was meant to stay off-grid, but then he nodded at Linda, crashed into a motion-triggered proximity node. "Now it's live." "Live what?" I asked. Before he could answer, Linda made another break for it, this time while VYing Bathva Body Works gift cards at the agents. Prince Burrito latched onto Carter's pant leg like it was a chew toy from heaven. A crowd gathered on the sidewalk, phones up, streaming the madness live. This wasn't just my problem, Anna Marie, it was public. "What the hell's going on?" I muttered. Carter leaned in, voice barely a whisper. "You're levying on a classified Cold War uplink station that was never shut down. And someone's trying to wake it up." I blinked. "What? Who?" He glanced at Linda, now flailing as a neighbor offered her kombucha for emotional balance. "We think she might be involved." Then the ground trembled, a faint rumble, like distant thunder under a clear sky. Sophie checked her phone. The node just pinged again. Whatever it is, it's waking up. Linda's screams hit a new pitch. Prince Burrito peed on Carter's shoe. And I realized the worst part wasn't the wrecked gate, Linda trending online, or the Secret Service camping in my yard. It was that my quiet weekend was officially toast. For someone who'd just learned his backyard hit a government black site, I was coping decently, or so I told myself, stress-eating pretzels in the leave-vying room while two agents bickered over the Wi-Fi password. Sophie sat beside me, too calm for a kid whose TikTok conspiracies were turning into classified reality. The agents confirmed it. Our shed was a disguised uplink terminal from a dormant Cold War surveillance program. Thanks to Linda's kamikaze SUV stunt, it was active again. Agent Carter paced with the intensity of a man allergic to downtime. His partner, Ruiz, typed furiously on a laptop balanced on our coffee table, muttering phrases like, "Node compromised," "Level 2 protocol breached," and once, "Oh hell, she's trending." Sophie tilted her phone toward me. On screen was Linda, fresh from detainment, standing outside a Dollar General, declaring war on the deep state lizard hub in the Harper Yard. She'd racked up 600,000 views in 2 hours. "She's got a GoFundMe," Sophie said. "Justice for Linda. Raise Dula 1,500 in 20 minutes. I stared. "People are paying her for smashing our gate?" "She's calling it the first strike for freedom," Sophie replied. Carter turned irritated. "That woman's a national security risk. She could crash a whole network just by WiFi-ing her phone near it." Ruiz didn't look up. "She already did. There's a second ping something else activated when she hit the node. We're tracing it." I wanted to laugh, but I feared I'd never stop. "What does this mean for us?" I asked, steadying my voice. "My daughter cracked a government uplink with a school Chromebook. My neighbors live streaming state secrets." "What now?" Carter sat across from me. "We contain it. We keep things normal. No one else can know what this place is." "Too late," Sophie mumbled. Ruiz sighed. "Yeah, Harper House is trending. It's VY-RAL. So the world knows our backyard's a spy base?" I asked. "Worse," Carter said. "They think it's Area 52. Linda hadn't just filmed the crash, caught Carter's badge, the shed's interior, and 3 blurry shots of what she called alien crates, really just encrypted drives and batteries. The internet ran wild. Sophie's followers fanned the flames, theorizing extraterrestrial tech, rogue AI, or JFK's frozen head. Ruiz groaned. "We've got to kill this story today. A full breach isn't an option." "You're 2 guys with sunglasses," I said. "She's got a smartphone and a chihuahua with a fan base." Carter ignored me. "We'll start containment. But we need your help." "You've been squatting under my lawn rent-free," I shot back. "I deserve snacks at least." It wasn't the time for jokes, but humor was my only shield against the absurdity. News vans rolled in after lunch, Channel 5 by the trash cans, Channel 9 with a drone over the fence. Linda held a press conference from her lawn, wielding a "We Deserve the Truth" sign and a "Shed Happens" t-shirt. I shut the blinds. "This is containment?" I asked Carter. He muttered something unprintable and pulled out a black case. Inside was a thermos-like device that jammed all wireless signals within 100 yards. Linda's stream cut off mid-rant. Her scream could have reached orbit. "Temporary fix," Ruiz said. "We can only jam for 15 minutes without drawing heat." "And after that?" I asked. He gave me a look. "Keep the blinds closed." The next few hours were a blur of frustration, surveillance, and snack runs. Sophie reveled in it, gaining 4,000 followers in secretly live-blogging VYAA private Discord for research. I silently questioned my parenting. Then at sunset, Ruiz picked up an unexpected signal. "There's a duplicate node," he said slowly. "It's active and not here." Carter looked up. "Where?" Ruiz spun his laptop, showing a satellite map zooming to a spot down the block. Sophie squinted. That's the community garden." Carter didn't answer, just grabbed a case and said, "We're taking a walk." The neighborhood was eerily quiet after the jamming. Only Linda's voice echoed faintly through a megaphone, rallying a teen to tell the truth about the Harpers. At the garden, Carter picked the padlock with unsettling skill. Inside, among tomatoes and basil, stood a shed nearly identical to ours. "Copycat," Sophie muttered. Carter approached it warily, then froze. "It's been opened." "Recently?" Ruiz joined him, staring at disturbed soil nearby, something buried, then unearthed. "Linda was here first," Carter said, more to himself. The realization hit hard. Linda hadn't stumbled into this mess by accident. She'd been hunting it. By Thursday, Linda had formed Citizens Against Fences, a 4,000-member Facebook group with a logo of an eagle smashing a picket fence. She'd recruited half the HOA, a retired PE coach named Greg with a megaphone fetish, and 2 yoga instructors. Con VY said the shed emitted anti-energy VY best. They marched the cul-de-sac in matching sweatshirts, chanting, "Open the shed," and "No secrets in the shrubs." I watched from the kitchen, spooning peanut butter exhausted. Last week, I cared about lawn patterns. Now this. Inside, Sophie was holed up, decoding files from the shed's breach. She suspected more to the vortex, uplink than the agents let on. Ruiz's face when she mentioned drone intel modules confirmed she was onto something. She found something, Ruiz muttered that afternoon. Carter strode over, studying Sophie's screen note. I couldn't parse, but they could. She pulled up a diagram, a mechanical hawk with turbine wings and 2 mini sensors. "That's no surveillance drone," Carter said. "It's an AI-piloted recon prototype. Autonomous. Still active." I asked. "Were seats learning?" "It was out there adapting, sending data, maybe picking targets. No one knew where." Outside, Linda's crew set up a freedom picnic in our driveway, complete with a milk crate stage. She ranted about HOA corruption and hedge liberty, her dog in sunglasses. Someone brought a smoke machine. "I hate this reality," I muttered. Carter's jaw tightened, eyes on the screen. Sophie's expression shifted, not smug, but worried. "One more thing. The drones got facial recognition." "Whose faces?" I asked, dreading it. She pointed her face, mine, Linda's. Linda's had a red tag. "She triggered it," Carter said. "It's flagged her as a threat." "So what's that mean?" I stepped back. "If it's live, it might try to neutralize her." Linda climbed atop a folding table while viewing a foil sign about fertilizer microchips. Her crowd roared. Sophie's phone buzzed. "It's back online 5 blocks south." Ruiz leapt up. "It's MOVYing." We piled into their black SUV straight out of a BMOVYing sped off. On 8th Street, we spotted it, a sleek, hawk-like drone, shimmering as it darted behind a pharmacy sign. "It's in stealth," Ruiz said. "Joking?" I asked. "Nakamo plating. Blends with reflections." Carter stepped out, tablet in hand, scanning. "Sophie, keep the uplink open. I'll override its targeting." "If it fights back?" I asked. "Hope it picks warnings over bombs." It didn't resist at first. Sophie looped a shutdown command, and it began to drop. Then Linda roared in, Tahoe blaring patriotic tunes, draped in a stars and stripes poncho. I knew it wore robots. The drone twitched, breaking the override, and locked onto her. "Oh no," Carter muttered. "Linda, get back." I yelled. She ran toward it, arms wide. "It knows I'm the threat." A red light glowed beneath it. "EMP pulse," Ruiz shouted. "It'll fry everything." I tackled Linda into a rabbit-shaped bush. The pulse hit ears ringing, voice sound blurred. Streetlights died, the SUV stalled, and the drone crashed into the bush, flickering off. Carter approached. "It crashed itself. Overload shutdown." "It's done." Linda, hair-frizzed, poncho snag, blinked. Did I black out? Did I win? Back home, after Sophie recapped it all on Discord, I sat on the porch with flat soda, watching the sun sink. Linda limped home, bruised but triumphant in her mind. The agents packed the drone's remains, promising to dismantle the base, though Carter's tone hinted at more to come. Sophie sat beside me, scrolling Kara memes. "This'd make a killer MOVYE, she said. I sighed. We just lived it. 2 days of calm followed, no drones, no Linda, no agents pacing my kitchen. I almost believed it was over. The shed was gutted, sealed. Linda took a spiritual sabbatical, her group now 8,000 strong, plotting, global allies. Sophie sulked, tinkering with the fried drone, hoping it'd spark. I urged her to drop it, enjoy normalcy, knowing full well normal was gone. Carter's parting whisper haunted me. That drone was just a scout. I didn't tell Sophie. I mowed the lawn and breathed. Then came the barbecue. Carter's PR stunt. Nothing screams stable like a cookout, he'd said, organizing it with Ruiz like military ops. Flyers went out, grills fired up, a bakery donated flag cupcakes. The yard was spruced to hide the shed's scars, chairs in a semicircle like a reset button. Neighbors came, plus YouTubers, sleuths, even a caped truth empath. Linda swept in late, in a white sundress, doling out trauma hugs, Prince burrito on a blinged-out leash. Sophie muttered cult leader and hid by the drinks. I tried to relax then spotted the van. Half a block away, angled odd, Patriot Plumbing scrawled on the side, windows blacked out. My gut twisted. Sophie noticed too, scanning frequencies on her phone. Dad, there's a new signal. Before I could react, the sky shimmered, a low growl pulsed. People froze mid-bite. Linda's cupcake hovered. Above, a larger, matte black drone emerged, no bird charm, just menace. A red light spun beneath it. Sophie whispered, it's scanning. Ruiz bolted in, yelling, get down. Carter drew his sidearm, linking it to a WIC. Linda, awestruck, raised her arms. It knows me. It remembers. The drone mimicked her voice, I am the threat, from her old stream. Chaos erupted, screams, dives, Prince Burrito yapping in the kiddie pool. Carter ordered Sophie to kill the network. It's on a different grid, she shouted. What's it want? I yelled. It fired a signal pulscarters WIE fried. Sophie's phone died, lights blew. The yard darkened, save the drone's red glow. It dropped, the cylinder clinked, rolled, beeped. Ruiz flung it over the fence. It exploded, torching petunias. This isn't recon, Carter roared. It's escalation. Linda cradled her dog, sobbing. I didn't ask for this. The drone spun toward the house, then shot upward, agile. It's searching, Sophie said. Not faces data. It wants the source. The first drone's core was in our garage. We ran, it pursued, circling like a predator. Carter's net missed, Ruiz's jammer failed, it adapted. Sophie unlocked the garage, grabbed the core, and tossed it to Carter. The drone smashed in, toppling decorations. Carter lobbed the core skyward. It snagged it. He triggered a wristband pulse, the core blew, frying the drone midair. It crashed, smoking, onto the driveway. Done. Linda staggered up. Did I serve UIV another drone? Sophie nodded. And broke the internet again. She smirked weakly. Tell my fans freedom's not free. The agent swept up the wreckage, sanitized the yard, and left with veiled warnings, never saying how many drones remained. They gave Sophie a DVY Shound 7 card. She's been grinning since. Linda's Now a Celeb podcast, a March brewing. I just want my gate back.